Cassie told the jury that the freak-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated and worthless.
Ventura read loving emails between the couple from 2008.
Day 2 of the testimonies, Cassie Ventura revealed shocking details of the terrifying and humiliating experiences she endured while in a relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Her words were filled with pain, and the court listened in silence as she described what Diddy allegedly put her through. She spoke about what she called freak-offs, multi-day sessions where she was forced into sexual acts with escorts, often while Diddy watched.
Diddy forced her into drug-fueled sex acts with male escorts while he watched, sometimes sitting in the corner and masturbating. Through tears, she said she took drugs to numb herself, ecstasy, cocaine, and ketamine, all of it allegedly supplied by Diddy. She said the freak-offs included as many as 4 male escorts at once and typically lasted 36 to 72 hours. The longest, she said, the longest freak-off that she said she was forced to perform in lasted 4 days. She said they took place around the world, from New York to Miami to Spain to even Turks and Caicos. And at every stop, Cassie said the hotel rooms were stocked by Diddy's staff with baby oil, condoms, and drugs. And she says that these hotel rooms, this is disgusting, the hotel rooms were left covered in baby oil and covered in blood and covered in urine. Cassie told the jury that the freak-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated and worthless. But she said she couldn't say no because she says Diddy threatened to release videos of the freak-offs with her.
Cassie was just 22 years old when this started. She said she never really had time to make music or grow in her career, because when she wasn't being forced into freak-offs, she was recovering from them. And here's where it gets worse. Cassie testified that Diddy forced her to take drugs, sometimes without her even knowing. One time, he spiked her drink with ecstasy without telling her. She only found out after the freak-off ended. Over time, she started using drugs like ecstasy herself, just to numb the emotional and physical pain.
Emily Johnson actually said that Cassie did choke on the urine of an escort when Diddy forced this escort to allegedly urinate in her mouth. They did say inner circle numerous times.
But the horror doesn't stop there. One of the male escorts, called in as a witness, confirmed Cassie's claims. He shared how Diddy hired him multiple times to sleep with Cassie while he watched. But he said things got so violent and disturbing that even he couldn't go through with it anymore. He described seeing Diddy throw a liquor bottle at Cassie.
Once he saw Diddy beat Cassie, he could no longer, perform and be engaged, because before he said even if they hadn't paid him, he was excited to be part of their world. He was enjoying that kind of activity with them. And then things started changing when he saw one time he was on the couch, Cassie was at her computer, and Diddy, he said, was in Cassie's bedroom. Now, Diddy apparently called out to Cassie to come into the bedroom, and she allegedly told him, just hold on a second, my personal information's on the computer. Now, Daniel describes being absolutely shocked when all of a sudden a liquor bottle, Diddy throws it from across the room right toward Cassie, and then he comes running towards her, grabs her by her hair, drags her into her bedroom, and tells her, when I tell you to come, you don't wait, you just come when I tell you. And he says he then heard, after the doors closed, Diddy slapping her, beating her, yelling at her, and Cassie screaming out, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And he says he was just kind of frozen in place. He didn't know what to do. And prosecutors asked him, why didn't you intervene? Why didn't you go inside? And he said, look, I know this is somebody with a lot of resources. Quite frankly, I was afraid for my life. Now that drew a lot of objections from the defense, but the judge allowed that testimony. And he again reiterated that he was scared in that moment for Cassie, feeling like she was in a dangerous situation, but he didn't feel it was safe enough for him to intervene.
He wasn't the only one. Even hotel staff were paid off to keep quiet. One former hotel security officer testified that after Diddy physically assaulted Cassie in a hallway, he tried to bribe him with a thick wad of cash to forget it ever happened. You might remember that video from 2016. It was shown in court. But Diddy didn't work alone. Prosecutors said this was a whole operation. His inner circle, bodyguards, drivers, assistants, were all allegedly involved in helping cover things up. They even mentioned an incident where Diddy allegedly kidnapped Cassie after she tried to escape him. In another shocking moment, Diddy allegedly kidnapped his assistant just to help him track Cassie down because he thought she was cheating. The prosecutors are building a strong case, possibly even under RICO charges, usually used to bring down criminal organizations, because they believe Diddy couldn't have pulled this off without his inner circle helping him. There's also the emotional toll Cassie faced. She said that every freak-off was recorded. Diddy allegedly threatened to leak those videos if she ever said no to him or tried to leave. It wasn't just abuse, it was blackmail, manipulation, and control. In court, Cassie explained how Diddy controlled every part of those sessions, from what she wore, platform heels, wigs, masks, to how the escorts acted. He decided everything, even when and where they could finish. And all of this happened while his own children were sitting in the courtroom hearing these horrifying details. The jury, handpicked to be able to handle such graphic testimonies, listened as Cassie described her trauma, crying, trembling, but finally speaking her truth. One of the most heartbreaking moments came when Cassie, completely drained, turned to the male escort, someone hired to use her, and leaned on him for comfort. He testified that he told her, "This is not okay. You need to get out of this relationship." This case is not just about celebrity drama. It's about power, abuse, manipulation, and survival. Cassie's testimony has exposed a horrifying reality that was hidden behind fame, wealth, and influence. No matter how difficult it is to hear these things, it's important that stories like Cassie's are told so that victims everywhere know they're not alone and that even the most powerful abusers can be held accountable. Let me know in the comments what you think of this case. And please, if you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, don't stay silent. Speak up. Seek help. You matter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button.